Well, Donald Trump says critics are twisting his words after he was accused of inciting violence against Hillary Clinton. That was during a rally in North Carolina. Trump said that there is something Second Amendment people can do in order to stop Clinton. The Clinton campaign quickly denounced his remarks as dangerous.
Trump later defended his comment in a tweet, writing that the media is desperate to distract from Clinton's anti-Second Amendment stance. I said Second Amendment citizens must organize and get out the vote to save our Constitution. This all happening as more Republicans break away from Trump. 50 GOP security experts put out an open letter earlier this week arguing that Trump would be, quote, the most reckless president in American history. One of the people who signed that letter is Eliot Cohen. He served as a counsel for the State Department from 2007 to 2009. He had a special responsibility for advising the secretary on issues relating to Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran, Pakistan, and Russia. Mr. Cohen, good to have you on the show.
Good to be with you.
Donald Trump's comments about how Second Amendment people have an option for stopping Clinton. Is this playing into exactly what your open letter was pointing out?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think if he was not actually inviting violence, he was certainly flirting with that. That is supremely reckless behavior, and it's not the first time. So, whether he was actually telling people to take out guns and stop either judges or Hillary Clinton, he was certainly willing to play with it. We don't have that kind of margin for error in foreign policy, and of course it's despicable in terms of our domestic politics.
We know that Trump brushed off that open letter, and here's what he had to say about you and the rest of the security analysts who signed off on it.
These are terrible people. They're endorsing because I don't want them. The people that are there now, I don't want. Look at the world. Look at what's gone on with the Middle East. I mean, it's a mess. These are the people that are advising. These are the advisors. These are hangers-on. They couldn't make a living in the regular private sector, frankly. And they know I don't want them. I've never spoken to these people. I don't know who these people are. So, look, these people are not the kind of people we want. These are people that have given us a messed up world. You look at
hangers-on. How do you respond to that?
Well, this is just typical invective. He has no idea who the people are on the list because he actually doesn't know anything about foreign policy. And it includes consummate professionals like John Negroponte, who is one of this country's most distinguished diplomats. Like many other signatories to that letter, have served under both Democrats and Republicans in positions of very high responsibility. And by the way, they're perfectly well off. So this was a patriotic act. It's not the first one. I organized a similar kind of letter in March, which had a very large group of people signing it. This is an act of revulsion and apprehension about a guy who is dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Cohen, Michael Hayden signed this letter, who was the director of the CIA, the director of the NSA. It doesn't get any higher than that when you're talking about the security apparatus in this country. But I got to ask you, to Donald Trump's point, what he is going to say and what his supporters believe is that it is the establishment. It is people that have been in government for many, many years, the people that have served under various administrations, but those are the folks that have gotten us in the situation that is acutely felt by his supporters, which is that we are not, as a country, in the place that we want to be in. And so how do you respond to that by saying, look, what he's saying is I'm going to change it because I'm going to get rid of all these people that have gotten us into this mess in the first place?
Well, it's pretty bizarre in a number of ways. First, most of the people who signed that letter, in fact, I think just about all of them, have not been in government for the last 8 years. These were Republicans, after all. Secondly, the challenges this country faces they're serious. They're certainly ones that can be overcome. There are things like the long-term impact of globalization, changes in trade flows, all those sorts of things. But that's not actually, something that you can lay at the foot of people like Tom Ridge or Michael Chertoff. These are people who have served their country extremely well, who know what it takes, and who see in Donald Trump, as I do, a man who would be downright dangerous if he had his finger on the button.
Comparing Donald Trump to Hillary Clinton, we now know there's new questions today emerging about whether Hillary Clinton gave special treatment to Clinton Foundation donors while she was Secretary of State. Trust issues keep popping up for her. Does that give you any pause about voting for her?
Oh, it certainly does. And I've made it very clear I'm not going to vote for her. I'm going to be writing in Senator Ben Sasse, who I think has been one of the most principled Republican politicians out there, was early out there opposing Trump. You know, if I had done what Secretary Clinton had done, I would have been fired by my boss, Condoleezza Rice, and I think I would have been prosecuted. That said, she is far and away the lesser evil than Donald Trump. She is not reckless. She is not dangerous. She is informed, and she has a level head. So, you know, would I prefer to have her as president? Absolutely. But I will not endorse her, and I don't plan on voting for her either.
All right. Former counselor of the Department of State, Eliot Cohen, we thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.